We're playing Vanguard here. We have EruditeDM. Do you want to introduce yourself, sir?
Sure, yeah. Hi, my name is Mike. I'm the EruditeDM, and I have a channel where I talk about a lot of Shadowdark, but not just Shadowdark. I spend some time with other guests and talk about some other games, but mostly OSR stuff. And I write some zines that you can get on drive-through. So just started doing that this year. I wanted to say thanks, Crispy, for hosting us and doing this fun experiment. So
It's my pleasure. I'm really looking forward to it.
I may feel differently in 2 hours.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll get my voice back right after, or I won't, or I'll swear I'll never do this again. But I don't think so. I think this will be a lot of fun. And underneath Mike, we've got Tall Torn. And why don't you introduce yourself, Mr. Bacon?
Hey, I'm Bacon, and I run the YouTube channel Better with Bacon. I usually talk about a bunch of nonsense that doesn't matter once you get to the table. A lot of it's been live streams recently. I have some videos that I'll be cooking up to get out there soon. Please do pardon my voice. I am also recovering from being ill. So apologies for the scratchiness and the congestion.
I'm glad that you're here, right? It's scheduling is the big bugbear in the room. And then next to you, Bacon, of course, introduce yourself, please, Mr. Watcher DM.
Yeah, hey, I'm Gabriel. I go by Watcher DM on the internet. I make lots of tabletop role-playing game things and 2 videos a week, I think, mostly like randomization tutorials and then some flip-through review kind of things. Pretty unedited. But yeah, I try to make stuff as often as I can. So look out for the eye, I guess. Keep an eye on it.
There we go. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much for having some interest. We're going to launch into this. Now, I thought this would be useful to for those of you that are new to us, that are just joining us. I wanted to show you this. Excuse that it's not the great format, but I really wanted to show the font that I found for this. We're going to play Shadowdark tonight, but before we get into it, these are the table conventions that we have for this game. Let's go quickly through this. I don't want to give you death by PowerPoint. You know what that's like, where someone shows a slide and then reads every word on the slide. I'm just going to quickly go over this, gentlemen, so that we're all on the same page. First of all, this is an in-character game. And what does that mean? That means that in every turn, your goal is to role play that character without coming out to ask me out of character things like, Crispy, what do I know about this? Or, hey, what is that door locked? That kind of stuff. We're going to avoid that by staying in character. We're going to avoid trying to predict the future, other than Gabriel, who has a class that can help maybe glimpses into the future. Provided that Odin is happy with his supplication, then he may be able to get an answer to his query. But otherwise, Bacon's not going to ask me, hey, if I were to do this, would that work? He's not going to ask me that. He's not going to ask me permission to do things. He's just going to do it, and we'll roll with it. All right, good turn. What is a turn? A turn is 3 things. The third one's optional. May not happen all the time. The first one is sometimes optional if you haven't moved. First is, where are you in the world? Then you're going to say what you're doing. We prefer first person, in the present tense. Not what you're going to do at some point. I'm going to do this. No, just what are you doing right now? And then we're going to try to limit game mechanics. These players know Shadowdark well. They probably know it better than the GM. The horror. But I have read it. They've read it. They've played it. They've even published things for it, as I understand. So these are experienced. We don't need to talk about game mechanics. I trust these guys. They're going to play the same game that we're playing. All right. I will say failure. I will say success, so that the players know whether or not their check worked. And then these 2 points are important. Instead of concentrating on labels such as magic missile or whatever, or I do my cleave strike. No, we're gonna focus on what things look like. What do they look like when your character does this? When your character invokes Odin's blessing, what does that look like? There should be something visual to it. If it's not visual, You can still tell us what your character looks like. I take a knee and look up at the sky and open my arms as I invoke Odin's blessing. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be super flowery, as you can tell from my example that was just on the fly, but that's going to help everyone really imagine what's going on. And then the last thing is, we're going to try to keep this really brief. Gabriel's character can grant luck. As he does so, he's going to just say that to Mike or to Bacon. He's going to use their character names. He's going to say Vanagar, gain 1 luck. Or Tall, gain 1 luck. It's Drath the Seer, Tall, and Vanagar for the next 60 to 90 minutes. There'll be things that sometimes happen when they spend luck. I got the math wrong there, but if Gabriel spends luck, he can re-roll a dice and add 1d6 to it. I trust that he's doing that. I'm not going to remind him. He doesn't need reminding. Bacon's already told me, I'm not going to ever remember this. And so that's fine. I'm not going to remind him. It's not my job. I got enough things on my plate. I don't have to worry about that. So any questions with that? It's a little different. These table conventions, a little different.
Look forward to it.
Okay. I have come up with a scenario to get the ball rolling. We have 3 characters here. These are 3 veterans of the Stormbringer clan. This is a Viking group. They are led by Thorvid Hamundson. Thorvid Hamundson, chief of the Stormbringer clan, has a brother. His brother's name is Hallfrid Hamundson. Hallfrid and his brother Thorvid have had a falling out. Because of that falling out, the Stormbringer clan has been divided between the 2 brothers. The one brother now leads a group that he calls the Wave Riders, predominantly of men that were loyal to the brother. There has been a somewhat uninterrupted peace between the 2 clansmen, as some distance seemed to help the strife that was happening between brothers, and it hasn't descended into fratricide. However, the Stormbringer clan chief, Thorvid, has called his 3 trusted raiders and explained to them that something troubling has happened, and that the Wave Raiders have hit a number of holdings claimed by the Stormbringer clan, and they've raided those, stealing livestock from the Stormbringer clan in what is a clear and surprising escalation between the 2 brothers. Rather than go himself and risk things getting out of hand, he has asked the 3 of these trusted raiders, experienced in their own right, to go and talk to the brother. Why did the Wave Riders hit Stormbringer clan holds, raiding livestock? What is that about? What is going on? Why is this happened? The 3 have traveled via boat to the Raiders' hold on the coast of one of the islands. We will start, gentlemen, with the 3 of you in your small rowing vessel pulling up onto the rocky shore of the Wave Raiders' holdout village. It is sunny. The trees blow in the breeze that comes in off the ocean. Birds fly, roosting, perching on the buildings made of rough-hewn lumber. Many of the birds, black crows, ravens, carrion birds, they cry out with their cacophonous sounds as the boat pulls up onto the shore.
I jump out of the boat knee high into the water. I reach down with both cupped hands, splash some seawater in my face, smile a toothy grin, and turn to my companions. Well, let's get this over with.
Venagar leaps from the boat and follows Taltorn and immediately kneels down into the cold, sandy water and says his quiet prayer to Odin as it's the beginning of the day, and prays for power. And if death comes, so be it. But today he will fight for Odin.
I stow my oar. I reach into my fur tunic, jingling around for runes as I fill my mind with the question: has Halford gone mad? Is he in his right mind? Does he have his wits? I pull forth a rune.
Go ahead and roll.
70.
Success. Has Halfred gone mad? Yes.
Protection reversed. Not a good sign. I don't think the brother is here. Halford has left us. Be wary. Pull my dagger.
3 long houses dominate the shore. Where there should be boats, there are none. Where there should be cook fires, no smoke appears. Only a murder of crows that multiplies by the minute on the roofs of these 3 long houses. Tall.
I wipe my nose using the back of my hand, using the entire length of my forearm. I turn to clap the seer on the back with the same hand. Ha! There's your Odin. The crows on the longhouses. This does not bode well. Let's go. I unholster my axe. I grip it. I grab my shield out of the boat. I equip that. And I turn to the others to allow them to ease into whatever marching order we assume.
Venegar nods at Tal, grabs his shield and his great axe and steps forward, not waiting for any word or additional comment. He strides to the first house, cautiously coming up on the steps just to peer inside, although it looks deserted.
The door is ajar. Dark inside. A scurry of some rodent. As the noise on the creaking floorboards, raise no other sound. In the corner of the room, which is disheveled, belongings strewn haphazardly on the floor. 2 shod boots. Shod feet stick out from the corner, otherwise in darkness. Flies buzz in the air.
I smell death. I reach into my satchel and pull out a small handful of honeyed grains, tossing them to the side to distract the crows, pull them away from our seeking.
With a flutter of blue-black wings, the crows aggressively attack the grain strewn about, cawing all the while. No other voice or sign of humanity appears.
I march forward to the second house.
Ere the door is closed.
I cautiously push against it, attempting to open it slowly.
It pushes forward into the room, revealing looted treasures strewn about on the floor. In the room, a man sits on his cobbled together throne. His eyes come up. In the darkness, he has a pallor to his skin. Ah, my brother sent you, he says. belaboring each word, struggling to utter them.
He did.
He doesn't like the raids.
Neither do I.
Drath.
Drath walks into the room where the 2 feet are sticking out and reaches down, pulling the body towards him.
The body slides, lighter than it should be. When it comes free of the debris, it's evident why. From the mid-torso up, the body has been gnawn, devoured, leaving only a dirty skeleton with bits of flesh still attached.
I
Otherwise,
recoil and throw up. Shake my head back out of the room. There's a curse here. I rush to join Tal.
Vinegar.
Tal Venegar accompanied Tal to the other building and addresses the kinsman. Kinsman, are you in fact the chief? Thorvid?
Chief, he says, struggles. He does not move, does not make to rise. His hand holds no weapon. There's something through his shoulder. He holds nothing in his hands. Flies buzz around the dark room, lit only from the open door. All windows drawn. I have no kin any longer.
Only death can be seen here. Who attacked you?
My ally. My muse. He coughs. It's a wet cough. In the darkness he says, She promised me great power, but she lies. And now I just wait for the crows to become brave enough to peck my own eyes out.
You are not food for the crows yet.
Grab
Get
a
up.
torch. I grab a torch from my bag and strike my dagger against my flint to light it. I hold it into the room and look around in the shadows.
The room has treasures littered around, weapons, Viking weapons, plundered goods. But it is in a state of terrible disrepair. The person on that sits on his throne has through his chest what appears to be a spear that's pinning him to the throne. On his lap, not held by his hands, but sitting on his lap, is a severed head of a goat.
I clutch the spear, push my foot against the throne, and pull the spear from his body, throwing it to the ground.
With a grunt, Halfred cries in pain. Ugh! The spear, freed from his wound, bleeds freely. He says, she promised me, but her promises were lies. All my men, all my ambition, she twisted against me. Please tell my brother, Vanagar, I recognize you. Drath, Tal, you won't remember. Tell my brother the raids were not my idea. But I am guilty nonetheless, he says, as blood starts to bubble from his lips.
I dig into my bag and get some fresh water from a flagon in my bag and bring it gently to his lips, try to offer him some water.
He knocks the flagon away. I deserve this, Vanagar. I deserve this, he says, the last syllable drawing out long as his head droops and his beard, soaked with blood, rests on his chest.
Where is the witch now? The witch who brought all this destruction to your once mighty clan.
My patron, he whispers. My patron is in the forest. She lives in the cave of our ancestors.
Where are your men? Where's the rest of your people?
The goat's head falls from Halfred's lap and lands with a wet thud at his feet, and he does not reply.
Vanagar, I think they are dead. Drath walks out of the room, throws up again, and begins marching towards the edge of the forest.
Benegar follows him outside. He says, Drath, you know the ways of these witches. What do you think? What
I
do we
think
do?
we're all dead.
Well, we
Well, let's
can't.
go find out.
We can't go back.
Then we must go forward.
Tal, what do you say?
I take a moment, pondering the dead body. Hell has him now. I turn, exit the building. We were sent to end the raids. We have to end the raids. If this patron of his is responsible, then we must end them.
I agree. Before we go, I think we lay him at rest and set the building ablaze as a sign of honor. Just leave everything inside. Send him to Odin.
There is a lot of treasure in there, Vanagar. I think that would be a bit hasty.
Facing the forest, Drath. The first to notice. The birds are in alarm. The murder of crows that were perched on these longhouses take flight. Even those that were gorging themselves on this grain so generously offered on the sandy beach flee. The unmistakable sound of men running in armor pierces the otherwise tranquil silence of this forested island as rushing from the forest into the ruined raiders' village, 4 raiders appear. Howling, no weapons in hand, at a full sprint out of the forest towards Drath, standing outside, and Vanagar with him.
And drop down into a crouch and lunge towards them, charging at the nearest one to tackle and bowl him over.
Go ahead and roll.
10.
His momentum is surprising. Failure.
I make contact and fall squarely on my ass.
He falls on top. A smell of decay now. A rotten beard. Pale, lifeless flesh cover the large frame of this raider. 3 men 3 other raiders rush past Vanagar.
Drawing my great axe, I drop my shield and I put both hands firmly around the haft of the axe, and I charge towards the nearest evil raider from the forest, and I scream at the top of my lungs, Stormbringer! And I swing. I assure you I did not hit him.
Shocked, it avoids, moving quicker in the last moment, plowing into Vanagar, attempting to knock Vanagar off his feet. And at the last moment, slipping, caterwauling away, rolling in the wet sand. 2 more still press, rushing towards the building where Tal is just coming out.
Seeing them rush forward, I smile broadly and I charge shield first, swinging my axe overhead, attempting to strike the one closest.
Success.
I bring it down directly into the neck, following through on my swing, pushing it to the ground.
Damage for me.
Eight.
The mighty blow cracks through, tearing through, slicing through rotting flesh as one of these wave raiders is cut down. The other takes his place, lunging at Thal with his hands forward, grasping. He reaches. Tal's shield easily bats it aside. Failure for the enemy. On wrestling on the sand on Drath the Seer, the lead raider now attempts to sink his teeth into the neck of the Seer and is unable to do so. His heaviness, his acrid breath is thick on Vanagar. The raider who lost his footing gets back up. His eyes empty, black pits, his rotting teeth exposed as the gum is receded around. He lunges at Vanagar. And the wet sand gives way again, and he falls at his feet. Drath.
I jam my dagger up into where this beast's kidneys would be, over and over, trying to spill its guts all over me. $17.
Success.
2.
The dagger pierces in. A sticky, smelly, black liquid issues forward. The rotten innards of this creature spill all over the dagger, making it slick. Vanagar.
Vanagar swings with his great axe. 16.
Success.
6.
This raider, helpless at Vanagar's feet, gets the great axe severing through his spine. It arcs as a cracking sound. Bone is severed. It's destroyed. Tall.
I cast my gaze about, looking for any raiders that remain. And I
One.
see the last
Right
one
next to you.
standing. I swing my axe again in a wide arc, this time horizontally, attempting to hit.
It goes too high. This raider ducks underneath the blow and then tackles or attempts to tackle Tall at the torso to knock him off the wooden walkway in front of this building. But his feet are slick, and the rain so prevalent in this part of the world has made the planks like ice. He falls flat at Tall's feet. Drath. The creature on top of Drath, now leaking fluids from its punctured torso, attempts again to bite at Drath's face. But he's clumsy and doesn't come close. Drath.
My torch swinging on the left side to keep its mouth from me, I raise higher with the dagger and try plunge towards heart. 14.
Success.
4.
This time the dagger hits something. There's a shudder in the creature. Something is severed. Something breaks. It goes limp.
Roll the smelly monster off of me. Stand up.
Vanagar.
I sprint over to Drath, pulling the creatures away. Are you all right? Are you injured?
Still prettier than you. Just barely.
Tall. One of these wave raiders still at your feet. Clumsy.
I shove down on it with my shield to hold it in place as I bring my axe down on its head.
At the last moment, it squirms out of the way. Rolls off of the porch of this building, landing with a thud on the sands and rock on the shore. Drath.
One is still moving. I run over towards it with my dagger and I throw it at the beast's neck. 12.
Success.
3.
The dagger embeds itself in the creature's neck. It waves awkwardly with fingers that are not dexterous. It grasps at it, attempting to pull it free as it struggles back to its feet. Clothing is reminiscent of Stormbringer clan, but it's rotten and ill-kept. Vanagar.
Brothers, it's clear we're not safe here. We need to decide quickly what to do, if anything, with Alfred and the Hall and get on with our mission. And I'm afraid that takes us into the woods.
Tall.
I swing again at the still standing corpse with the knife in its neck.
Success. Destroyed. This time the axe cleaves through him. He accordions back from the deadly blow, landing in a wet heap on the rocks and sand.
I retrieve the dagger, hand it back to Drath as I approach him, and I cast my head over my shoulder to Vanagar and I say, one thing at a time, eh?
If you're done dancing with your friend, let's get the hell out of here and head for the woods.
Right.
Raise my torch up and walk into the woods, lighting the way.
The path is clear. These four have not attempted to disguise their movement. The ground has been well traveled as it leads into the dark forest. It travels for some time. The torch is of great assistance as it eventually leads to an opening. Runes adorn the pillars in the sill of this cave opening. Old. The tracks lead directly into this opening.
I look over the runes and touch them gingerly with my fingers before putting my hand into my tunic and shuffling around for another rune. Filling my mind with the question, are there traps laid here?
Go ahead and roll.
15.
No, my son.
Fortunate. I think these dead things are too stupid to trap. I walk in.
The torch reveals outside of the entrance, which was carved. The corridor leading in is more rough stone than worked masonry. It goes in for a while, dark, damp. The feeble light of the torch is unable to pierce to the end of the corridor, this cave entrance that disappears into the heart of the island.
Thanagar puts his hand on Dreth's shoulder and says, "Let me go first and step out in front. You follow with the torch and I will use your light. Safer if I lead."
Yes.
Tal?
Yes.
Do you agree?
Yes. But be wary.
No doubt.
It's mere a pungent toxin made of mushrooms across my lips that helps me to gain visions. And I begin chanting a low, rumbling chant of Odin. And my eyes begin to roll back into my head.
Vision becomes more clear. Drath, on the ground ahead, amidst the trampled footsteps of the undead raiders, are animal droppings. It's goat droppings. They lie in piles, untended, unpoliced, just there, random, as if a herd of goats had been shepherded into this cave.
Goats cannot be driven, can only be led.
Led to the slaughter.
Yeah.
Let's step a bit further.
The corridor continues. Now a new smell, a pungent smell of animals in close quarters. The offal of the goats mixing in with the musty, mildewy smell of the cave. But no treasure evident. As the cave widens, it takes a more circuitous path into the mountain of the island. As it comes around, the cave opens up. Here the walls are more worked again, as if men have taken time and masonry was applied. And you are not alone. A creature comes walking forward, confident. Its head, that of a goat, with the ram's horns curled behind, dragging behind it a weapon, a spear or glaive or axe or some such that's sparking on the stones as it walks, the bleating of a goat behind it. Muscled and fierce, it strides towards the torchlight, now illuminating it.
I sheath my dagger and pull my spear from the back, setting to receive charge with one hand and holding the torch ahead.
Vanagar steps in front of Draft and says, "Stand behind me." And then I take my shield and I make my personal shield wall, anticipating his charge.
I charge past them both, and I swing my axe as I shout, "You steal the dead from Odin!" And I strike. It's an 18.
Success.
5.
He takes the blow on his thick forearm. The axe digs deep, blood flows freely, and in a bleating voice, "Odin has no sway here, just the mistress." And he flings Tall against the wall of the corridor, or attempts to. "14, Tall.
Success.
Tall, you're flung against the wall of the corridor. Take 2 points of damage, please.
Grunt as I hit, back arcing forward, winded.
Draft.
Holding the torch high, I throw the spear over Vanguard and towards the beast's head. 19.
Success.
6.
He takes the spear.
I make that better. I use a luck token to make it a crit.
Okay. Please roll.
Additional 3.
9 points. A fearsome blow. The spear hits him in the torso, piercing in. He bleats out in pain. With his injured arm, injured by Tall, he grabs the haft of the spear, pulls it out from his corpse. With a death cry, he lowers his head. With his horns, he leaps towards Vanagar, charging ahead. Vanagar, you're well prepared for this charge. Please go ahead.
Vanagar strikes back with his great axe. 15.
Success.
1.
Off balance by the shield Vanagar is proffered, the great axe comes down, severs one of the horns off its head, knocks it aside. It appears dazed as it swings wildly and ineffectually with its heavy weapon in his right arm. Tall, go ahead.
I rush up from behind, grab the horn that isn't severed, and I bring my axe down.
Success.
5.
The axe cleaves into the back of this goat creature's head, severing it from its body. As the rest as it goes limp, its heavy weapon falling on the ground.
I hold the head up by the horn, throw it down on top of the crumpled corpse, disgusted.
The
Spit.
head is monstrous, disfigured, not human at all, but goat.
I recoil from the hideousness of the beast. We should keep moving.
I quickly
Can't be anything
searched
good
through
in
his
here.
equipment. Draft, let me look through his equipment quickly and see if I find anything
I'll make haste then.
of value. I dig through his armor and clothing.
His armor is repurposed from the armor worn by the raiders. In fact, much of his clothing is consistent with what the wave raiders were wearing. His weapon is one of the fabled bearded axes, so common among the Stormbringer clan. It's old, though. The axe carries runes, carved with great care. An heirloom weapon, not some common raider's weapon. It has no valuables on it, other than that weapon.
Vanagar grabs the glaive and holds it up to Tal. You recognize this?
I do not. It's old.
It's Stormbringer. This is a weapon from our fathers and their fathers. I'll take it with me.
Take
I
it with you
fear
deeper
while
into
you're-
the cave. Whatever's going on here, we must stop it. They steal the dead from Odin.
Agreed.
Here at the blade as you're holding it up. And read the runes.
Go ahead.
What do the runes say?
Oh, the runes talk about a heraldry, the first of the Hammond sons, going back generations, listing off the valorous deeds, having established the clans. This axe talks of events that are only known to the eldest of the clan, and even then, faint impressions, memories that pass, gossamer strands of history. This is old, very old. 400 years, maybe older. An heirloom of the clan.
This is ancient. Ancestors of Thorvid.
The
We
goat
may not even know.
that was standing behind the goat man stands there, notwithstanding the scent of blood in the air, and the violence that took place. The goat stands there, watching, its eyes unblinking, motionless.
Draft, throw it some of that bird feed you had and see if it eats. Maybe it will lead us somewhere.
We'll walk over towards it and toss out some honeyed grain.
It bleats at the
Ew.
grain, turns and runs into the darkness
Oh.
beyond the light of the torch.
Savannah! I go falling after it. My spear in
I'll
hand.
follow.
I
Cares-
can follow.
The characteristics of the cave start changing rapidly. What was just slightly worked cave before now becomes quite ornately carved. Here the runes talk about resting place for the ancestors. The smell of goat becomes oppressive as the goat comes finally with the bleat. It stops in a room filled with goats. A female voice calls out from the darkness. Have you come for more of your trinkets? She says.
I've come to cast you away, witch.
Many have tried. Many have failed. Perhaps you can bring me some of my precious children, and I'll give you a trinket or two from your ancestors. The voice is eerie. It bounces off the walls. These walls, finely worked, polished even to a shine. She remains in darkness beyond.
Show yourself, witch, and I'll give you a gift for my elders.
I lunge forward with the torch and
The
try and
torch
shine into the
illuminates.
darkness.
The torch illuminates a room, a chapel of sorts. A room sacred to the Hammonson clan. She sits there, defiling it. A demon. Horns of a ram. Goats gathered at her feet. A scepter in her hand. She looks up. What do you seek? I may grant it to you, I may not.
Freedom! And I throw the spear at her face.
Go ahead.
Going again. 21.
21. The spear catches her shoulder. As it does, a thin line of blood appears. Damage, please.
2.
She scoffs, standing leisurely, points the scepter at Drath. Go ahead, Vanagar.
You bleed, witch. That means you die. He leaps forward with his great axe to strike at her right in the middle of her chest. He misses.
One of the goats jumps forward, interposing itself between her and the swing of the axe. Tall.
Curse you, Hoffred, you brought this evil on us. I charge forward, attempting to hit the demon.
She easily steps out of the way, moving surprisingly quickly, as now a new light source appears in the desecrated chapel of the Hammonson ancestors. Her eyes glow a sickly yellow as she incants, pointing the scepter at Vanagar's chest. She utters an unholy word. Arcane energy strikes out. 17, Vanagar.
Success.
This was Vanagar.
Vanagar falls backward, flat on his back. Sparks and wisps of smoke coming from his chest and chest hair.
Take 3 points of damage. Drath, go ahead.
I run over to Vanagar and start mumbling under my breath as I grab onto him and start filling my mind with his destiny to be filled. Go into a trance. Take him up to him.
Vanagar.
I push him off me. I don't need your help. I'm fine. Save your prayers, brother. And I start to stand up, dust myself off, and get my axe ready for the next attack.
Tall, go ahead.
I swing wide again at the demon while rolling my eyes as hard as I can.
Success.
22.
Success.
5.
Again, a goat jumps in. The goat takes the fearsome blow, is split, and dies instantly under your onslaught. She looks quickly at Thal, angered. Her hand reaches out. Unlike the rest of her form, there's no comeliness at all to her hand. It's sickly and diseased, and she attempts to place it on your face. 13.
That's a hit.
Make a Constitution save.
17.
Your skin burns, a sickness, an itching, but nothing else happens. She looks
I
surprised.
bat at my face, stick my thumbs in my eyes, clear the tears, regain myself.
Drath.
I run over to one of the goats and slash its neck with my dagger,
No! She
spilling the blood on the
screams.
ground.
She screams in pain.
Your weakness is clear to me now, witch. And I run to the next goat. Do the same thing.
Vanagar.
We know your game now, witch. I dart towards the closest one and plunge into it with my axe. 15 plus 4, 19.
The comeliness of her, the goat perishes easily. It's a mercy for the goat. It dies instantly. Her form starts to change. What was first comeliness now withers as she looks older and less alive. Curse on this Halmanson clan. The Halmansons are liars and thieves. She waves her sorceress specter around and points it at Drath. A sickly green ray emits. 16, Drath.
Success.
2 damage as the life is sucked out of Drath. Tall, did we miss you?
I swing again my axe at the demon and I shout, "This is Stormbringer livestock. Save it if you can."
Critical.
Five.
She's unable to call on the goats, distracted as she is from the death of 2. It weakened her unexpectedly. She spins on her feet. The fearsome blows entered a gash that bisects her chest, damages her armor. She takes a few steps back, eyes red now instead of yellow. Drath.
I plunge the dagger deep into another goat's neck.
No!
Spill its blood. Move to the next one, pulling it by its horns.
I will give you the hammer. The
Yield!
hammer of the Stormbringers. That's what he wanted. I will give you beauty. She turns to Tall. That the women desire you. I will give you what you want. It is within my power. She looks at Vanagar, eyes searching for weakness. Vanagar, make a wisdom save.
Eight.
Failure. I see now what you want. I can help you find it. Vanagar's turn.
Vanagar leaps forward from the last goat he slew and swings for her neck with his axe. 19.
Success. Damage, please.
6.
She's unprepared for the blow. Her minions cannot save her. And vicious gouge slashes across her throat as the supple skin of the form she was imitating now becomes dry, caked, old. The blood, once vivid red under the torchlight, now becomes dust. She falls. All that's left of her is the ram horns and the scepter that lies near empty boots. Every goat in the defiled sanctuary to the ancestors of the Hammondson clan cries out in one and dies.
Drath walks over, picking up the scepter and inspecting it closely. I think this might be cursed, Vice. Take it back to Thorvid and have it destroyed.
What of the
Shove it in my
horns?
sack.
What of the horns here? What should we do with them?
Crush them, burn them with Alfred's body.
I take a full hand and wipe the gore from my face, streaking it into my beard. And I say, yes, we burn all of it, including that cursed scepter. The goats, the horns, the raider village, all of it. Burn it.
Agreed.
I take a torch from Drath. I strike light it. And I throw it onto the dead goats' bodies, allowing it to catch.
The bodies catch quickly, shedding light on the walls, more light than before, illustrating the murals, the reliefs that have been carved into this underground tomb, a tomb to the ancestors of the Stormbringer clan. It's hauntingly beautiful as the flames create light that casts shadows that play across the walls. Reading the runes tells of great things, but of an undertone of a deal that was made that cannot be unmade. And we'll close it there. Is that all right with you guys?
Tease.
Yeah.
All right.
You're
Okay.
You're a damn dirty tease, Christy.
I'm sorry, I am. So there we go. This was a all in character. I thought you guys did phenomenally well staying in character. Like, that was really good. You did great. Combat was smooth, in my opinion. What was your impression? Let me get some water while you guys talk about what you thought with your 4D session.
Gabriel?
Oh man, yeah, I gotta say, every time I've done this so far, I come away, my blood is pumping. I'm excited about, this juices me up. I really vibe this kind of play.
Right on.
Yeah,
Right on.
it brings me right into it. I feel like I'm looking around in the crazy place and the
You
lights
feel-
flickering and it smells like goat piss and it sucks.
Yeah.
That was, when I first heard about this, again, I was like, God, I've always aspired to play like that. I try to achieve that in my play, but I never had rules for it, the rules of engagement that you've set up, and it really makes it easy to just get there. And this is like the first time I'm doing it where everybody's there.
Everyone's there.
And
Mm-hmm.
Now
really,
it's tempting,
really
isn't it? Sometimes you kind of got the best dad quip right here. And it's sometimes hard to refrain from doing that,
Mm-hmm.
especially if the dice are like, how many times are these guys going to fall on their face? Every time.
we're rolling garbage tonight.
Just absolute garbage. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Ones and twos, nothing but it. And so it's often tempting to have that be a bit of a derail. But if we can stay in the seriousness of it, then I think that the payoff is better. How about you, Mike? What was your impression?
I thought it was very, very fun, and I thought we did very well. I mean,
You did great.
other
Yeah.
than I didn't realize that the one guy was still fighting Tal. I thought the dagger from Drath had killed him. I'm like, hey, let's go for us. Oh, not yet.
Totally fine. And
I'm
you know,
gonna-
part of the style is reflecting on what you feel like you could do better.
Yeah.
You know, attention, focus, that sort of thing. No one's gonna get on you for doing that. Like
No.
I had a moment the other day. I was in a game with Crispy, and I'm playing, and I'm like, my character's getting ready for bed in the middle of the afternoon. Like, what are you doing, idiot? So you just kind of have to recover in the moment and keep going.
Yeah, little boo-boos, but I thought overall we did great. It was a lot.
I
of
thought you
fun.
did wonderful. Yeah, I was
I'm
really
reading
impressed.
Odyssey right now, and I just knew that the goats were actually the clansmen, our kinsmen had turned into goats, and we were going to wind up killing our own kinsmen.
Yeah.
I was waiting for Crispy to turn that one on for us.
Yeah, that's right.
Evil bastard.
Oh, it was great. I thought you did great in the combat. You did good in the exploration. You did very well. I thought there was a few moments where the two of you is kind of like, or Drath sees Vanagar go down, and then he's like, right away, I run in to do that. What I like so much about how you guys interacted with the system is that you didn't worry so much about this is a move or this is an action. You just used normal language to describe what you're doing. You did a great job with your attacks, describing of what you're doing. Like I swing my axe at this. That's great. That's really good. Everybody did that really well. So I'm very pleased with how this went. I suppose we should at least give some acknowledgement to the people that are watching and that were commenting. Again, my apologies for the lack of my voice. I've lost my voice, people. But
I thought it added to the atmosphere. In
fact,
I
did try to. I don't do voices, but every so often I'll try to change the timbre of the voice.
That slap.
Creepier than usual.
Yeah.
It super was, you like this and this and this. And it was like, yeah, dude.
Because I could
Just lit up.
I dropped from this like mid baritone to a bass. So anyway.
Did you write this, Crispy?
So just so those of you that are watching along, saying, how did I come up with this? There's a great OSR game called Worlds Without Number. It's made by Kevin Crawford. He also does Stars Without Number. And they have some excellent tools, generators to come up with what they call the tag system. And so I knew this was going to be a Viking themed game. And so I rolled a couple tags. I rolled one tag that was Civil War, and the other tag was Raiders, like Ruin Raiders. And it kind of was like, oh, okay, maybe it's a brother thing. So I just brainstormed that a little bit. That's how I came up with it. And then using that tag system, it works really well. And there's, if you don't want to get that product, though I highly recommend it, in Shadowdark itself, Shadowdark has some great tables that you could use for this. They're very good, and they're extensive, and they can go all the various things. Arctic, you want Arctic? Sure, it's in there. Everything's in there. So very good. But I love, and I've used the tag system quite often, so I'm very comfortable with it. The beauty of the tag system is that it comes up with a, there's the conflict, but it comes up with an enemy, a friend, a conflict, a thing, a place, and you can mix those tags together to get a something very unique. So that's where I came from. But yeah, so it's good. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
I love it. It was like right up my alley.
So what's the verdict here, Mike, Gabriel? What's the verdict? Can you see yourself playing a game like this again?
Sure, I could. I know what Gabriel will say. I've played some other games with him, and I know what he'll say. I think I do. Go ahead, Gabriel.
Oh yeah, so I played 5e on Monday and did this with my character, my dwarf wizard, just because I was like, well, this is how I want to play.
Absolutely.
I think something that doesn't probably come up very frequently in your videos about it is that, like, while it's helpful if everybody is doing this, I'm sure there is nothing preventing you from kind of playing this way for your own sake and just communicating with the GM beforehand. This is how I want to do things. This is how I'm going to represent things.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be in character as much as I can. and just set that expectation. The rest of the table can do what they're doing,
Sure.
and you can have the fun you want to have at the table. So I would invite anybody who wants to try it to not let the need to find 4 other nerds who want to do the same thing stop you from enjoying it, because I think
No.
it can be done that way.
It can. They can. I don't disagree. I would only say that if you want what I would shoot for is once everyone's on the same page, like what was happening here tonight, you can go you think about all the things that happened. We ran we did 3 combats actually, believe it or not. And we went through some exploration. You had a little bit of interaction with the dying brother. And all of that took much less than 60 minutes.
Mhm.
So you can have a lot of gaming when everyone's in character. It can really go fast. And that's something that really does take the cooperation of everyone at the table. Because otherwise what would happen is that our good friend Bacon here might just need to ask everything that he needs to ask and a lot of out of character questions, which can really slow things down. You guys didn't slow down this game at all. You flew through it. It's not a speed run. I know that. And I thought you showed that well at the beginning where you were talking about getting off the boat. So it's and exploring around. It's not just about the speed.
I was going to say, I think it requires a little bit of discipline, a little bit of getting used to, even for novice players. We're all DMs or GMs, right? So even if we're not experienced in this, and a little bit of repetition, but and a lot of concentration too. I mean, it's all I could do to think about where are my dice. I got to get some water. You don't want to miss a word or clue or anything.
Yeah.
You have to pay attention.
There's
no way if you're playing a game with your regular group or a new group that they're going to be on their phones. If you're playing it, even if they're trying it for the first time, they're going to have to concentrate, and that's a good thing for them.
Yeah, it's a performance ethic, so it is a skill set that you can practice and get better at. Exactly. And so the more you practice, the better that you'll get at it.
I'm going to make an embarrassing reveal here on Crispy's live stream, and when I play Solo Dark and started playing it over a year ago and haven't played lately, I actually do the role-playing parts out loud myself.
Good for you.
Because it helps me. There is no other person to play the NPC against, or I had some characters who were like brothers, and I have them talk back and forth. And I'm up here in my room talking to myself. My wife's like, "Who are you talking to?
What are you doing up there?" I think it's great you've embraced that, Mike, and that probably helped you do this because, as you say, it does take some extra effort. It does take discipline, and you have to be very attentive. I thought you each did that very well, listening to one another. In fact, I thought you did something very well, that you were able to not talk over one another really well. It tells me that you're paying very close attention to what everyone else is saying, and you're not inflating your turns to be longer and longer and longer. Everyone kept turns that felt like this was what could happen in the time it took you to say it, which is ideal. That's really good. That's not to say we don't have time skips. Of course we can have time skips, but I thought that went very well. Really liked the way you handled the torches and the light sources. You were on top of that. And at no point did I feel like and this is how I judge a session or players. So I'm revealing this. If I feel as the game master that I wish I could ask you a question because I'm not sure what's going on, then something has broken down. And at no point in this game did I feel like I had to say, Gabriel, I have no idea what you're doing. Could you please clarify what you're doing? Bacon, I have no idea what you're talking about. Everything was consistent through the whole thing. I never felt like I had to break character, so to speak, to be like, hey, guys, I don't understand. Like, who's got the light source? Notice that Gabriel was already thinking about the light source. All I described was a dark room. And then when we got to the into the cave, again, I'm not having to fuss with that. It's not that it's not important. It is important, but the players are taking it on. And I think that's a key differentiator. Serious players are going to stay in character like this. I think it's really good. I'm really glad that you guys allowed me to run this game for you. And I would encourage you, like Gabriel rightly pointed out, you know what? I think that some extra effort on the role play side makes role playing games better. I think trying to mechanic away role playing takes away some of the magic that can be experienced as three strangers sit around a virtual table and imagine a Viking island and feel like you're there for just a moment, you know? So I think that's great.
I will say the other thing that's required, Crispy, obviously, is a GM.
Mhm.
And even a GM who's trying this, they're not going to be as good at this right away as what you did tonight, right? They're going to have to develop their skills too. And they shouldn't be afraid
Absolutely.
to go out there, and it's all about descriptions and role playing. It's right there.
Yep.
You know, we're playing. We're
That's right.
creating this world and these situations and these characters. So you
That's
can't
right.
be afraid to go try it. And if you flub up, you flub up. So
That's
what?
why I think that's why it's so good to give lots of people a chance to try.
Mm-hmm.
And I, for my own part, and Bacon alluded to this, I'll watch this session again with a careful ear for where I could have done better. And every game I do that because I love the hobby so much. I want to get better at it. And I don't think it's a hobby that has a skill ceiling cap. I think it's like most good hobbies where the longer you do it, the more you can uncover, the more you can refine your craft. And when you stop trying to do that, I think is when you're probably starting to lose interest in the hobby. So people do it different ways, of course. You don't have to focus on what I focus on, but for me, that's what I do. I try to focus on it. So don't feel too intimidated. If you try something like this and it falls apart, falls to pieces after a few minutes, just keep trying. If that's
So-
what you want, you can get it.
I've got to say, so I, as you know, before this, I went and did TTRPG KidsCon like
Mhm.
earlier today, and so I was running Shadowdark for a table of 4 or 5 kids that were, in the 9 to 14 range of age, and one of the things that I brought to that table was to say, okay, like we're going to go in turn order.
Mm-hmm.
If it's somebody's turn, what they need to tell me is where they are, what they're
What they're
doing,
doing.
and what their
Mhm.
character's saying.
Perfect.
If it is not your turn, you are not supposed to talk.
Yeah.
And then
Shut up.
I just laid out the, I will not respond to hypothetical questions. So if you want to find something out, take an act, do the action required to find out. And it took me 5 minutes to lay out those rules.
Mhm.
And it was challenging. These players, like some of them had played D&D, some of them had
Mhm.
opinions about it. They have done it a certain way. But we got through the whole adventure in like an hour and a half. Way more stuff than I think they would have normally gotten through. A number of combats, a number of exploration turns. Went back and redid part of the dungeons. They were like, oh, I think there's something over there. So, and at the end, I could tell they were really jazzed up. They had a good time in a way that, when I come away from a 5e session where I've been dealing with hypothetical questions all night and we've been kind of dancing around the decision we made 20 minutes ago, are we really going to do that? Like, why are you asking? I already did it. I said I did it. We're done, Yeah, really cool to see some young players pick it up that fast. A little bit of
It
setup.
is. Yeah, that's been my experience too. Yeah, the younger the people are, the more they're able to grasp it right away.
Valuable,
Like,
right?
I get it. Yeah. It's us guys that are it's more of like I found this, I've had this epiphany. I'm like, no, you haven't. You've just remembered how you used to play with GI Joes. That's all that's happened. It's not any great epiphany. You just you've become ossified in your practice, and now you're finally remembering what you used to do. Probably the first time you experienced it, like, yeah, it was cool. It was like I was there,
We
Anyway.
also don't have to watch too many dungeon tubers to figure out quickly that about 90% of what we talk about are systems, old systems, new systems. So much systems talk that when you get to playing a game, it's just natural to start picking apart mechanics.
Totally.
What do we do in this one? It's just it occupies so much of your headspace, and if you can just put all that aside and feel relatively comfortable with whatever system you're playing that night, like you mentioned it earlier, Gabriel was like on the torch, and things were just natural, based on reacting to what we were hearing from the GM.
Yep.
And I'm, maybe because we're more experienced, but I'm sure even for starting players, they figured out quickly. It's a lot of fun.
No, I think you're absolutely right, Mike. And it just is such a better experience when we can trust one another at the table and be like, okay, I know Gabriel knows the game. I know you know the game. I'm going to do my best to stay, to have integrity, use the game that we've agreed to play. And then we don't have to talk about it. We can talk about it after and like, hey, I can't believe I rolled this. It was crazy. And those are fun conversations to have afterwards. I just
Can't
prefer
believe
not
neither
to.
of you nerds used a luck token. Come on.
I know.
I was like,
well, I also
you're missing
not
left and
only did
right.
I not use a luck token, but I totally just skipped doubling my damage on that critical hit. I was just like, nah, 5. Sure.
So
Well,
funny.
I think what is we were, for those of you that are watching that are familiar with Shadowdark, we were using the pulp version where you can have, there's no limit to luck tokens, and luck tokens can do other things. But even though we were using that, these players are so into their characters, it didn't come up too much. But I'm glad that you did it, Gabriel, because it was a key component to your character.
I used both of mine. Yeah,
that's great.
I was out by the end.
I thought the Seer player was very cool too. The way you guys played that back and forth. I was watching it and listening intently.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I followed everything you guys were doing or how it works. I'd have to go back and read a Seer class again. But yeah, it's a challenge to play that in a game.
It can be. It can be a real challenge, especially when the game gives, and I do like Shadowdark. I think it's a well done game. But that particular class, it says, ask the GM a question. He has to say yes or no, and he has to be truthful. And so when I read that, I was in a moment of panic. I come back to Gabriel. Gabriel, can we change this so that you ask your God that question? I know I'm still gonna have to answer for Odin, but I was, anyway. It is a bit of a challenge. That's why I said before we started recording, I'm really glad Gabriel chose the Seer class, which he didn't actually choose. It was just a random on Shadow Darklings, which is a great site to use. But I'm really glad it came up because it does show that you can still do things like that and still try to stay in character. I've been going through the comments here. I want to thank everybody that's been watching. I've had quite a few people drop in and say hello. Some of you may have even watched most of this. Yeah. So there's been some good things, some new names, some returning names. A lot of people liked your game, guys. I think that you'll find that when you have games like these, they do have a very cinematic feel. And I think you pulled it off well. I thought it was excellent. So
it's definitely a better chance for the players to co-create, right?
Yeah.
Beyond having agency about picking what you do in your game, which is important. I'm not belittling that, but on that, I felt like all three of us were really creating the thing along with the GM as we went.
Yeah.
Had an opportunity.
Exactly. And one of the impetuses of this particular game was when I watched your video, Mike, about this 4D style. Of course, that was brought about because Mr. Chubby Funster, who I don't know if you've been here, Chubby, but Chubby should have told his players that he had asked me to watch a game that you guys played and give him some feedback from my perspective, being a degenerate, aggressive role player. And so I said, I'm happy to do that. Usually I do that unsolicited about these big channels that hold themselves up as the gold standard. And I don't think it's deserved. So that's where we came in. Mike made a video about it saying he was curious about it. And so I had this crazy thought. If he's curious about it, why don't we just do it? We could get together and talk about the game. It's fun to talk about the game. I enjoy those kind of streams too, but why not just do it? And I appreciate Mike and Gabriel for being good sports about it, as you certainly took it seriously. You could tell.
I got to thank Mike for inviting me. He put up that video. I saw it too. I'd never heard of 4D before that, and as soon as he mentioned it, and I went and commented, I was like, "Oh, this looks really interesting. This looks like what I want to do." And then I devoured your videos. I started watching all of them, and I love watching you crack these guys. They're they're an entertainment experience, right? Like Critical Role's not going anywhere. They're fine. They're fine.
Yeah. No one's gonna.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's right.
To have the invitation. All of a sudden, my buddy Mike was like, "Hey, I'm invited to do this thing, and I thought of you, and I was like, oh, my heart, man, yes,
That's
I want to
sweet.
play with you some more.
Well,
We just finished a Mythic Bastionland game that I ran for him,
Right on. Right
and
on.
some and Runeforge Gaming, and
Yeah.
I really wanted to get kind of a similar kind of. There's that tooth of reality in it that
Mhm.
I know I got there because Mike was upset.
Yeah.
he got
Okay.
real upset about the state of the world in a certain way. Like
Yeah.
this myth got under his skin,
well,
and
that's
it was
me and
awesome.
my history background. I started arguing about feudalism facts and things.
Oh,
Like,
no.
it's a fantasy game.
But it was great. It was like you could really
That's
tell
awesome.
that he was like he had bought into the fiction, and I was
Totally.
like, well, that's awesome. Like whether or not his character likes the fiction or not, his character was grating against the world, and I was like,
I
that's
think
awesome.
it's I think that's great, and I'm glad that it's Mythic Bastionland because I watched a game. It was recommended to me as for part of my unsolicited advice videos of the creator of Mythic Bastionland running his game for some players, and I felt so bad for the individual, the gentleman that created the game because his players were clearly not interested, and it was I felt like such a missed opportunity that they had this they had the actual creator of the game and they couldn't be bothered to show that they were serious about it. I felt it was too bad.
Hey, I will add, if anybody's interested, anybody listening is still listening, and you're interested in Viking books, there's a famous female fantasy writer from the 1950s and 60s, Evangeline Walton, and she's kind of lost in the wash of fantasy writers. But they just re-released one of her books. You can buy it on Amazon, and it's
Mhm.
all about Vikings and
Nice,
Saxons and Christians
nice.
and Odin, and it's called Dark Runs the Road. And I'm in the middle of it right now.
Right
It's
on.
really, if you're writing for something in your fantasy game and you want some good Curse Scroll number 3, Midnight Sun flavor for your Shadowdark or whatever Viking game you're
Yeah.
playing, it's full of stuff, good stuff.
You know,
You
Mike,
said
I'm
Dark
glad you
runs the road.
Dark runs the
Dark
road.
Runs the Road, yeah.
You know, I think that's great advice, and I've been thinking about this a lot. I'm going to make some videos on it, I think, but I think it's absolutely important if you want to get into a more aggressive role play focused style, immersive style. I think it's important to be reading books. I don't think there's any substitute for it. I think there's a good reason why, and it wasn't just the limits of the technology of the day. Why there is such a thing as Appendix N, and I don't consider Appendix N a closed canon. I think there's
Right.
lots of great things that we should be looking at, and I do think that as far as pushing that out, that envelope of imagination, reading books, especially books that trigger your own imagination, where you can picture what the author is writing, they can't help but help you become a better role player because it allows you to get that different picture, that map in your head. I don't think there's any solution to any other. You can say, well, I don't read much. I like movies, but the problem with movies is that it's too passive. I think you have to have that little bit more effort of reading the book, or hey, I mean, even just listening to the book is still better than just relying solely on movies.
It's
They're too
interesting you say
limiting.
that. I don't
Yeah.
know that I agree that passivity is the problem with movies. I think they give you too much. Like
Yeah,
there's
maybe
this
that's it.
amazing faculty of the human mind to fill in blanks. And so
Yeah.
having blanks is a great way. Like I think
Yeah.
you've said it before. Like when you're there in your mind,
Yeah.
you're seeing all the stuff. There might not
Exactly.
be torch sconces on the wall, but you see
You're
them
s
there. And as soon as you
yeah.
do, they're there.
You're
Like
there.
your
Yeah.
mind is going to do all that backfill kind of anyway. As soon as
Exactly.
it's in a movie, there's no guesswork. It's like what's in the pictures in the
It's what's
game.
there. It's too limiting, I think. I
Totally.
think
I
that's
agree.
what I was looking for. It's too limiting. Whereas books, there's much more left to the imagination. And anyway, so that's good. Well,
I do want to
gentlemen,
say,
yeah, go ahead.
so anybody who is in the chat and ever wants to throw some dice, send me a message. I'd be happy to do this with anybody. If you
Yeah.
guys ever want to come hang out and I'll come throw dice with you, I would love that. This is the kind of game I'm into. So
Well, that's great. And Gabriel,
yeah.
I think you've really shown it. Like we like to say that we're always looking for people that are interested in trying out this style, and we're all about playing games, and so it's good. I'll put a Discord link if you want to connect to us there. There's a good place to connect to people that want to play like this. And it's a friendly group. There's always games going on of all sorts of genres and systems and styles. Well, style maybe not. Maybe it's mostly the same style, but pacing is different. So there's lots that's available. I want to respect these gentlemen's time, and I know we're in different time zones. Both Gabriel and I are in the same time zone. It's kind of nice, but the other two are quite a few hours away from us. Any closing thoughts before we wrap this up, gentlemen?
I'll say I think it's something everybody should try.
Give it a
And
shot.
this is not one of those black and white binary issues that we all have to argue about, by the way. Please don't waste your time. Just try it. And if you want to play it with a certain group and they all think it's fun, then play it and have fun. And then the next night, go back to your beer and pretzels and crack dad jokes and do it. Just know your audience of who you're playing with and what's your best shot for taking 4 hours out of your life and having fun. Pursue that. That's the way to go, whatever it is. But this, if you try this once in a while, this is pretty fun. I would do it again and hope to.
Yeah, I want to echo that. It's give it a shot, right? Like we kind of say a whole lot of different things on the internet, on YouTube. All four of us have channels and we all stand up in front of the camera and we all have our opinions. But really at the end of the day, you know, we could talk about it till we're blue in the face, but we really kind of just want people to try it. Just come on in, give it a shot. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, play more games. That's what we want. We want people playing more games. Want a big tent that's ever expanding is what we're looking for. So again, I want to thank for taking a chance on strangers on the internet. It can be a little scary to let me do this for you guys. But Mike and Gabriel, thank you very much for taking the chance.
Well,
I hope it was an enjoyable experience. I want to thank my friend Bacon for joining in.
Of course.
And
of course.
I hope that others will reach out and say, hey, you know what? I'd love to give it a shot. And why not give it a try? Yeah, I mean, we all love different aspects of the game, but this can be a lot of fun too. So thank you for those of you that watched live. We're going to have this posted as well for rewatch. And again, my apologies for the voice, but there was just no way, as long as I was still breathing, there was no way I was canceling on these gentlemen. We're glad that we could set this up and have it work. So with that,
thanks, Chris.
Vinegar.
Yeah.
For Odin.
For Odin. Thank you. Thank you. Catch you later.